New routines, new rules. Next, up to the mid 19th century, the company was concerned primarily with higher education, so it allowed the local function without much interference. After 1854, the company decided to improve the system of education. It felt that this could be done by introducing order within the system, imposing routines, establishing rules, ensuring regular inspections. Next, how this to be done? What measures did the company undertake? It appointed a number of government pandit, each in charge of looking after 4 to 5 schools. Next, the task of the pandit was to visit the try and improve the standards of teaching. Each guru was asked to submit periodic reports and take classes according to a regular timetable. Teaching was now to be based on textbooks and learning was to be tested through a systems of annual examination. Students were asked to pay a regular fee, attend regular classes, sit on fixed seats, and obey the new rules of disciplines. Next, which accepted the new rules were supported through government grants. Those who were unwilling to work within the new system received no government support. Our time gurus who wanted to retain their independence found it difficult to compete with the government aided and regulated process. Next, the new rules and routines had another consequence. In their earlier systems, children from poor peasant families had been able to go to since the timetable was fixable. Next, the discipline of the new system demanded regular attendance even during harvest time, and children to poor families had to work in the fields. Inability to attend school came to be seen as independence, as evidence of the lack of desire to learn. Next, the agenda for a national education. Next, British officials were not the only people thinking about education in India. From the early 19th century, many thinkers from different parts of India began to talk of the need for a wider spread of education. Impressed with the developments in Europe, some Indians felt that Western education would help modernize India. Next, they urged the British to open more schools, colleges, and universities and spend more money on education. You will read about some of these efforts in chapter 9. There were other Indians, however, who reacted against Western education. Mahatma Gandhi and Rabindranath Tagore were two such individuals. Next, let us look at that they had to say. Next, English education has enslaved us. Next, Mahatma Gandhi urged that colonial education created a sense of inferiorities in the mind of Indians. It made them see Western civilization as superior and destroyed the pride they had in their own culture. There was poison in the education, said Mahatma Gandhi. It was sinful. It insulted Indians. It cast an evil spell of them, charmed by the West, appreciating everything that came from the West. Indians educated in these institutions began admiring British rule. Mahatma Gandhi wanted an education that could help Indians recover their sense of dignity and self respect during the national movements. He urged students to leave educational institutions in order to show to the British that Indians were no longer willing to be insulted. Next, Mahatma Gandhi strongly felt that Indian language ought to be the medium of teaching education in English. Indians distanced them from their own social surroundings and made them strangers in their own lands, speaking a foreign language, despising local culture. The English educated did not know how to relate to the message. Next, Western education, Mahatma Gandhi said, focused on reading and writing rather than oral knowledge. It valued textbooks rather than invited experience and practical knowledge. He argued that education ought to develop a person's mind and soul. Literacy of simply learning to read and write by itself did not count as education. People had to work with their hands, learn a craft, and know how different things operated. This would develop their mind and their capacity of understand. Next, the success of these efforts depends on the step that school principal and teachers will take to encourage children to reflect on their own learning and pursue innovative imagines activities and questions. Next, we must recognize that given space, time, and freedom, children generate new knowledge by engaging with the information passed on to them by adults. Treating the prescribed textbook as their sole basis of examination is one of the key reasons why other resources and sites of learning are ignored. Next, including creativity and initiative is possible if we perceive and treat children as patients in learning, not as receiver of a fixed body of knowledge. Next, this aims amply considerable change in school routines and mode of functioning. Flexibility in the daily timetable is as necessary as rigor in implementing the annual calendar so that the required number of teaching days are actually devoted to teaching. Next, the methods used for teaching. The evaluations will be determine how effective this textbook proves for making children's life at school a happy experience. Next, rather than a source of stress or dread, syllabus designers have tried to address the problem of circular burden by restricting the resource knowledge at different stages with greater consideration for child physiology and the time available for teaching. Next, the textbook attempts to enhance this endeavor by giving higher priority and space to opportunities for contemplations and wondering, discussion is small groups and activities requiring hands-on experience. Next, the National Circulations Framework 2005 recommends that children's life at school must be linked to their life outside the school. This principle makes a departure from the largesse of bookish learnings which continue to space our system and carries a gap between the school, home, and community. The syllabus and textbooks developed on the basis of NCF signify an attempt to implement this basis idea. Next, they also attempt to discourage rote learning and the maintenance of sharp boundaries between different subject areas. We hope these measures will be take a significantly further in the direction of a child-centered system of education outlined in National Policy on Education 1986.